This is Another Man's Nostalgia with John.
I'm like, we're not dating.
Yeah.
You didn't say anything was in concrete.
Exactly.
Does that say something about me?
Chris.
So you're just a normal nerdy guy, because I remember you comparing yourself to
I am
him.
very much like Corey. I embrace it. Very forgettable. I'm okay with that.
And Justin.
It's just so metacore.
Is
But there's
metacore the right
nothing
way
really
to say
good.
that, or is it mediocre? Are there two different ways to say that?
Mediocre.
Okay, well, we all learned something.
Right, metacore is a
We all
real
learned
word.
something today.
Where's
really
the way
did.
I pronounce it? I'm telling you, this is a real word.
Because it
Okay.
doesn't exist.
The episode starts now.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Another Man's Nostalgia. We revisit everybody's favorite shows, movies, and games for the mid-90s to the mid-2000s. Before we get into what we're watching this week, I'm guessing we have some nostalgia news.
We have
to
a
talk
sponsor, Bang. No, I'm joking.
about. Nice shirt, John. Sporting a good nostalgia shirt like always.
yeah.
I like it.
There
You're
you
with
go.
us when we got it, right?
What'd you say?
Were you with us when you got that one? Was that the one you got when you were with us?
I was with you guys. When I
What
got
happened then to eat that day as well? It's like we had to go somewhere else. Oh yeah, Chris forgot his keys at the restaurant we're at. And we had to drive like 30 minutes.
You didn't have to
to
tell
get
that
back.
story, but okay.
Oh, I still
Thanks,
remember
man.
it
Appreciate it.
because I would have had at least maybe one more day on my car for gas, and I had to get gas yesterday because of that.
Oh, I'm so
'Cause I'm
sorry.
cheap.
You
Oh.
gas day early.
And I count every dollar,
Wow.
so thank you.
I'll Venmo you.
Then I was
30
about to say,
cents.
Chris is just gonna Venmo
No, you won't.
$15.
Yeah.
All right.
Speaking of that day, though, I finished the editing of the Zoolander commentary. So if you
There you
guys are a
go.
Patreon member, you guys can access that. However that
Sweet.
works, I don't know how it works, but we'll figure it out. And yeah, it's good. We have the rules of the drinking game in the side of it, and we have the little clip at the bottom of where we're at in the movie, so y'all can follow along with it. pretty easily.
We kind of have instructions about how it's gonna work. The way that would work, I guess I'll just tell you now, is if you do decide to become a Patreon member, you'll just start the video right when we started it,
Yeah.
and you'll just kind of go along with us and how we're commenting throughout the movie, and we're
Yep.
drinking throughout it. And if you want to join in when it comes to the drinking game with us, it's pretty intense. So
I mean, we won't
We
know,
rec- I-
so I mean, it doesn't
We
really
recommend
matter.
we recommend that you do because after editing it, we get pretty coherent towards the end there. So it'd probably be more fun for y'all if y'all are drunk at the end too of it. So that game will get you there. So
yeah,
it's
it
a good
will.
one.
So there's a bunch of nostalgia news. If we
Yeah.
want to talk about, I guess, stuff that happened at D23.
Yeah, a lot of stuff happened.
Yeah, a lot of things got announced, a lot of news. We could try to cover it all in a reasonable amount of time.
At least the nostalgia stuff. I mean, they released the Lady and Tramp trailer. Looks weird.
It looks really weird. Like,
I don't
I'm
know
not
if
gonna lie.
I don't know if I like
I
it.
don't know how I feel about
Well, they
it.
used real dogs, and then they CGI'd.
Did they really?
Yes, those are real dogs, and then they CGI'd them talking. So
They just look super weird.
It's-
I
It
don't.
does.
I feel like a lot of the cartoons, they don't do well in live action. Like,
I know.
it doesn't bode well. So
The ones that do well are the ones that don't have a very good plot. Usually, I feel like. And I
Yeah.
guess Lady and Tramp falls in. I was never a Lady and Tramp fan personally, but. And then what was the other live action one? 101 Dalmatians, Cruella de Vil. They released the image of Emma Stone. She looks pretty creepy.
with the dogs and
Yeah.
the two, it's really weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I guess
so-
they said they're going for like a punk rock feel for it or something.
from what I read about that, here, let me bring it up here real quick here. So it's supposed to be a prequel of sorts.
Okay. Okay.
It's set in the 80s, so she's like a punkish kind of character. She's still known for kidnapping puppies, obviously. So this is kind of her breakthrough.
Her little dog fight over here.
This is her
Can we talk about how dark
She's gonna be the new Michael Vick.
how dark Cruella de Vil is? I mean, she skins Dalmatians, puppies. Like that's.
I mean,
or
yeah.
not puppies. That's messed up. Like
It
she's a
is
very
messed
dark.
up. It is
villain.
pretty messed up. So something else got announced from Star Wars, right? The new show that's
Mandalorian.
releasing with Disney Plus.
They released a trailer. What y'all think of the trailer?
I was very excited.
It looks like a movie.
It does.
Well,
It
each
does.
episode
Like,
was
that's-
$15
it's-
million.
Yeah,
it's
so there's
just crazy. It looks like a movie.
$150 million total on the first season. It's nuts.
They'll be released week by week as well. So Disney Plus is.
I'm kind of excited about that.
I was reading some comments and somebody came up. Can't remember where exactly it was, but they made a really good point in saying how. So let's say you're watching Stranger Things 3. If somebody
Yeah.
hasn't binged everything, or have you got to this episode? You can't really talk about it because everybody binges
Right.
at different times. But with
Yeah.
a week-to-week thing, like for example, at least what I remember, at least through the three of us, the first big week-to-week thing that all three of us had was Heroes, and it was
Right.
really easy for us to talk about what was going to happen. But if that came out nowadays, and binged it all, we wouldn't have that same type of like buzz.
And like, it's just gonna be like a new Game of Thrones type of thing.
Lizzie McGuire is getting a sequel series.
Yeah.
Did y'all ever
Glory
see
Duff.
Lizzie McGuire when you were a kid?
I did not.
My fiance loves it.
Not really.
I loved
Yeah,
it,
so definitely
Yeah.
my sister was super into it. And apparently what's going to happen, is she's going to be like her age now.
Uh-huh.
And but her 15-year-old self is still going to be like as the cartoon character. And they're basically going to be like, she's basically going to be like at odds with her. With that.
Weird.
It's I trust Disney to get it right, but I'm not a big fan, so I don't really care. But
Yeah.
because they got
So-
so much other stuff going.
We
Right.
gotta say the sad thing that everyone kind of knows about.
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And Sony, and I saw a video yesterday that came out a couple hours before I saw it, and it said that they were confirming like a deal, but then at D
23.
23 they confirmed that the deal is just terminated.
Yep.
So,
I mean, yeah, they kind of confirmed. They're kind of put like Kevin Feige and Tom Holland both tried to put like a positive spin on it, and we're like, oh, we had great with what we had. Gosh, what a terrible decision. You know what? It's fascinating to me is Sony lost stock dropped when it was announced, which is crazy to me. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. What
I
you're
just
thinking, but
In 2 months,
It
this will
sucks.
be fixed.
It sucks. It really sucks.
you think so, Justin?
I'm very positive that this won't be the last we
don't-
hear of it,
I
and
don't
they
think
will
so.
in 2 months they will fix it.
I don't
This
think
is
so.
going to hurt Sony way more than it's going to help them, and the
It's
backlash they're going to get constantly for the next 2 months. It's going to force them to come to a deal, or Disney will just go, you know what, fuck it, have some more money. You'll get a bigger cut because they
It's just
They
very
were,
odd.
they
I-
were
I
saying that it was gonna be a 70-30. Like that
yeah, that was
they
a new deal.
discussed that. Yeah.
They don't like that either. I don't know. It's really interesting. I don't know how they're going to do a Spider-Man 3 with Tom Holland without the story of Tony Stark and everything from the last movie. So I don't understand how.
Oh,
they're
you
gonna
remember
do
that
it,
guy? Remember that guy, Tony?
but Pony Park.
Tony Parker. Oh,
Tony
remember
Parker.
Thalos? he whipped his
He
fingers
lived
around.
in, he lived
and
in
everybody
that big
almost
building
disappeared.
with the A on it. You remember that?
Now it's a
Yeah.
B. Avengers.
Avengers.
Oh, hello,
Anyway.
JM.
So I'm excited about the new shows that are coming out. I heard a lot of the stuff, a lot of rumors when it comes to like the multiverse and what they're going to be doing with that too. And
That'd be cool.
I think it's going to be exciting. Marvel's going to be exciting.
All right, let's move on.
Speaking of Boy
we
Meets
spent a lot of
World.
time on nostalgia. Yes.
Speaking of Boy Meets World, yeah.
we went back and watched season 4 of Boy Meets World.
Chris's yearly 1 point.
Play the theme song.
I think this show gets better. Thanks. I think the show got better and better. I think this was a proof that it did. Yeah, season 4. We're back. They are juniors now in high school. Apparently,
This show is just pure on adult show now. They dealt with a lot of issues this season.
and I
That was
loved
kind
it.
of that was kind of crazy. that this started out as a. I'm just kind of blown away that this started out as a children's
Full House
show.
type show. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, a Full House type of show, and it evolved into this. It's just. I mean,
The
it
mood.
makes sense, but I don't think I've ever seen a show that had that big of a transition from the first season to now, like
No.
from what we're watching now.
This was TJIF timeline. This is when they're like, this is for the teens. They want all the kids.
Yeah.
So they want the teenagers to watch, and they definitely had the the plots for it.
George Feeney's first line was, "What the hell are we looking at?" Like, I don't feel like you could have used that line
4 years
in
ago.
the first season.
Yeah, so we
Feeney
watched episodes.
was amazing
Yeah.
this season, just so we know.
Feeney?
Feeney, he was amazing this
Yeah,
season.
he was, to the expense of Mr. Turner, which we'll talk about.
Yeah.
But
So, do you want to say the episodes that we watched, Chris?
yeah, I think I have them. We have episodes 1 through 6. Tell me if I'm. Do you have it, John? You go ahead and say it.
So we watched episodes 1 through 6. We watched 8, 11 through 12, 14 through 17, and 20 and 21.
Which sounds kind of confusing. We'll put them on the thing, but they're the famous ones that you know, and we'll talk about them as we go.
I hope I watched all of them. I'm pretty sure I did.
Yeah.
But do you want to go through episode? Since it wasn't like a lot, we can kind of skip over some of them.
Yeah, we can talk about the highlights from each episode that we watched.
Yeah.
And what we liked.
Homebrew Tree Service has been providing the DFW area with world-class tree care for many years. When it comes to tree service in the DFW area, you can trust them to provide quality work with low prices and friendly, fair customer service. Whether you have a tree that needs pruning or complete removal and haul-off service, you can count on them for a wide range of expert care. Go to hbtreeservices.com and sign up for a free estimate.
The fun facts I have, we can do Justin, do a fun facts scene just for the sake of it.
All right.
All right.
Drum roll.
We're watching Boy Meets World, and these are the facts of the fun facts. I'm trying. I tried to do the cool guy song.
I know you're trying.
Good
I know you're
episode.
trying.
Then I
It's okay.
stopped.
It's okay.
I'll kind of do, as we talk about each episode, we'll talk about the fun facts of each one, because I've said it before, but I've looked them all up before, and I'm out of them, but I know things about specific episodes that we can talk about.
Really?
So.
That's amazing.
All right. So
Surprising.
the first episode. Tell us what it was about, Justin.
Me?
Yeah. Just
All
a
right.
little
So they're still on their road trip, correct?
Yep.
And Eric
Yeah.
is not happy wanting to go home, so he decides to stay there. And there's all kinds of shenanigans of him trying to.
It's a small
be
town
there.
he wants to stay at. Yeah, he doesn't want to go home because feels like there's nothing there for him, and he feels like at that place he can exceed and be as good as he could be. But he couldn't be as. Sorry, I'm explaining that terribly. He'd be a big dog in a small pond. Whatever.
He would be
Thanks,
a
Eric.
big influence in a small town, and he liked that. He enjoyed that because he knew if he would have went home, that his impact wouldn't have been as big of a deal than it would be here.
But he would grow more if you.
Yeah,
And this
so
sets the
this-
seeds for a lot, especially with
So he meets this-
Alan.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. So he meets this girl, and
Yep.
she's pretty cute.
Sure.
And she goes like, no one's ever treated me like this before, and like you're from such a big town, like
Such a city boy.
yeah, city boy. And then so Corey's trying to get home, and the town that he gets stuck in is the town that has the biggest yogurt cup. And he takes pictures with this big old spoon.
The sprinkle parade as well.
It is a
sprinkle parade.
Why does everybody have
He
goggles on?
glasses for.
Ah!
Corey shot up, doesn't he? He looks a lot bigger than or at least a lot older than he did in the last season.
Oh, yeah.
I thought. He's dating Topanga. He wants to get home. Pretty great stuff.
My favorite scene in this was the farm guy scene, the farmhouse guy scene.
It's a great
Please
scene.
put a clip of this
I
because
will.
it's ridiculous.
Young friend, how far art thou traveling?
Me?
Yes, thee.
Well, I'm going to Philadelphia.
Well, I'm going as far as that farmhouse there.
That farmhouse there?
Yes, that farmhouse there.
I see. Well, I'm going to Philadelphia.
Well, I could take you as far as that farmhouse there.
And that's very nice of you, but maybe I'll just wait for some form of transportation that involves combustion.
I understand. But if you change your mind, I'll be at that farmhouse there.
Yes, but you see, if that's as far as you're going, then it does me no good.
But yeah, so eventually the dad comes in and grabs both of them and has like a father moment with Eric. There's a lot of those moments this season.
This is
like,
a really
I
good
felt
Alan
like,
season.
I felt like the dad was in a lot of the episodes and in a big impact more than the previous seasons.
Yeah, this is
I
him
would agree.
starting to
So-
kind of like feel he doesn't like his job as much anymore, and it
Yeah.
kind of sets it pays off later down in a couple of episodes here.
Yeah.
Yeah, they set it up. The second
So-
episode we watched was one of the most iconic epides.
Probably one of my
Um,
favorites of the season, besides another.
Which one? The
When
next one?
Topanga cuts her hair.
Oh, yeah, Topanga cuts her hair. Just show everyone that
Looks don't
beauty
matter.
is on the inside and
Right.
not on the outside.
But as soon as she cuts it, she freaks out because she realizes that she does care how she looks.
Yeah.
And after this is when she kind of becomes like she starts dressing like a little bit more normal. Like she's completely lost that weird wild child thing that she had going on before this. She becomes a lot more preppy, a lot more hot. Just saying it, and yeah, this is kind of.
But they also address that. Do they? I can't remember if they address it this season or next season.
It's next
They
season.
do address it, so it does. There's a little bit of a payoff to it.
This is one of my. Okay, so they had to take her to the salon to fix her hair.
The hairdresser.
And Sean, yeah, the hairdresser guy.
Yeah.
So Sean, they're talking about like how she's got to come out more beautiful than she was, and she was like, she was already beautiful. She's going to be mega beautiful.
Yeah.
We're not even going to be able to look at her without burning our retinas.
And she does come out looking good, and Sean like is like,
He was like,
wants to marry her.
Yeah.
She's my best friend's
I know you're my
girlfriend.
best friend, but marry me.
Yeah,
She's my friend. She's my friend.
yeah. She, I like the kind of a fun fact about that scene. So when she cut her hair, she actually did cut it. That was all
Yeah.
real. Michael Jacobs, the creator, was like freaking out about how much hair she was going to cut off, and he was like, and it's a big deal for these shows when like you cut your hair, especially like when you're like, you know, like there are specific reasons. So he was like, do not go lower than this, do not go lower than this. But he really had no control over it. Like she could have cut it as short as she wanted to, as soon as they started airing, because
Yeah,
she actually did cut her hair there, which is pretty crazy.
that is pretty crazy.
They had one shot to do it.
I love the switching
Yeah.
accents of the hairdresser.
Yeah. He's all of a sudden he's like a New York accent. Yeah.
Oh, it's you.
I would be nervous as an actor or actress. Like you only have one take. Like what
Yeah.
if you laugh in the middle of your take?
Yeah, exactly. What if the camera doesn't even turn on or something? What are you gonna
Oh,
do?
there's ways they could have fixed that.
They would have put an attachment on and had her cut the other side, but still, it's crazy.
I think the best part is when Corey goes there and he turns around. He looks exactly the same.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
Like, this is my
when- so
masterpiece.
Cor-
He turns around.
Yes.
He's just like smiling. Like, how do I look?
At the very beginning of the episode, Corey he feels self-conscious about his looks, and that's why Topanga actually cuts her hair to show Corey that looks don't matter, but
Right.
it mattered
I
to
love
her.
I love this scene.
Touch it, you'll cut your
Okay,
fingers.
sorry.
It's like a Brillo pad up there.
So at the very end, what kind of changed everything was Sean kept coming out of the girls' bathroom stall.
And talking
And
to
the
them.
last scene kind of talked to Topanga and said, "Hey, I've never seen you be like
Care.
this before. Care about this kind of stuff, and this is not the friend that I remember." And
Yep.
she kind of it was a very heartfelt moment. It was a very
Good scene.
heartfelt, yeah, it was a very heartfelt episode when it came to just kind of you don't need to be caring about your looks, and if it's for the teens, like it's a good message.
There's not a lot of there's not a lot of scenes that have just Topanga and Sean, and when they do, they're always a really strong scene. So I really just them two.
It
So I
just-
enjoyed it.
No, and it shows that they're actually friends within the TV show
Without Corey,
Like,
right?
Yeah, without Corey.
Yeah. The next one is the episode when Alan quits his job and
Yeah,
he
the dad.
Yeah, and he takes over the hunting place, which is a really good episode also.
Yeah. My favorite is Corey's reactions to everything that he feels like he's about to
He's
lose.
talking to Sean
Yeah.
how to cope with being poor. He sees him at the Chubbies, and he's like, You can't have a burger. You're poor
Yeah,
now.
yeah. I'm eating meat.
I can't.
You know what's really interesting also about this episode is they're trying to figure out what job they are going to do, and they're at the show, and somebody introduces a scent stopping
Poopery.
For poopery, which is an actual thing
Yeah.
now, which is kind of interesting.
Should have gone with it.
Should have gone with it.
The scone store.
Yeah,
I think it's pretty cool that they bought that store. It's
Yeah.
a really big. I feel like it's a really big setting in the
Uh-huh.
in this season.
Yeah, because then it sets up the whole fact that Eric's going to work for him because they use his college money to buy the store, and so yeah, it's a really good. I like that episode a lot. I really like that last scene. I get like a little like emotional, not like crying or anything, but it gets me like emotional when that scene when he's like, it's okay to be happy with this and like to actually want this. It's really nice.
When the mom and
And Alan are having the conversation. About
Yeah.
it. Yeah. It's
no,
really
it really is good. It kind of just shows that a lot of shows, and we've already talked about this, but a lot of shows they kind of put off the parents off to the side and they just kind of focus on the kids.
yeah.
But this episode, they bring they develop every single character very well, and
Right.
they flesh out the parents in this season really well, especially Alan.
I agree. Next episode is fishing for Verna when they realize that Sean's mom is back. And
Is this the first time they show her?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Okay.
So she's trying to decide if she wants to come back to the family or not, and based on how they're acting. So she's across the street in a hotel, and Corey's kind of the messenger between the two. And at the end, she decides to come back. Is there anything else y'all really want to talk about with this episode?
The cafeteria lady dying.
Yeah, I was
Oh,
about to
that's
say,
a really good-
Corey lost his favorite lunch lady because she passed away.
And it's a good episode where they talk about appreciating your mother, because no one's appreciating Amy in this episode.
And at the very end, Corey, I think you feel like he realizes what's been going on with his mom and has breakfast with her.
Yep, it's nice.
But this episode's a very big, important episode to Sean's story.
Yep, his mom comes back.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a good one.
It kind of strengthens his and his dad's relationship because they talk about I think Chet kind of realizes that he came back, but he didn't try as hard as his mom as Sean's mom did.
Yeah,
because Sean pulls out all the letters. That was this episode, right?
Yeah. He pulls out all
Yeah.
the letters. That was kind of off to me a little bit because I felt like if that really happened, they would have mentioned it before this.
This will happen a lot in this show. There's a lot of this show where they just go back and say this was happening the whole time, and you never.
Corey and Topanga.
yeah. Which happens later on in the season, actually.
But I thought that
yeah.
was really important just because, number one, it showed Chet that you're here, but you also weren't making it. You also weren't trying beforehand, but it also showed Sean. It also showed Sean to realize, okay, my dad's here now, and he's doing as best he can. Like he cares now. He's there. It's all good.
Yeah.
For at least
Which
now.
comes up in a couple episodes also.
Yeah, for now.
For now.
So
So
episode
then-
5?
Episode 5, Shallow Boy, where the girl
This is great.
the girl that wants to the singing outside the shop. Really good episode.
I don't blame Eric. I don't blame him one bit here. This is completely normal.
That was funny.
That's a good episode though, because that's when they make the joke about the Boy Meets World show in it. They go,
Okay,
The
so
ki-
I had a question. Was that about the actual show?
yeah. So they have the TGIF lineup, and they're really excited about it. And then they pushed Boy Meets World, and the Boy Meets World to like out of prime time, and they're really upset about it. And that's why they brought up that line about why it got pushed, and like nobody knows why.
So the babysitters,
This is the kid.
the show was at 8:30, and then it got moved to 9:30, and
Yeah.
the joke was they're trying to cancel the show.
Yeah. It's, nobody knows. It's like, was it doing bad at 7:30? He's like, no. It's really good.
That's pretty good.
I think one of my favorite parts here is Corey being completely just confused
Yeah.
on why Topanga is so angry at him, which is completely
Yeah.
normal and a good reaction because she's a little bit. I think she has some of the
does.
weirdest reactions that season to
I
things.
feel like I've seen these reactions.
She's definitely
in my
changing a
personal
lot.
life.
Oh yeah, this is very normal, unfortunately.
I mean, think about a young girl and how she would see this. Like, she would totally see it as, you know what? If we had kids, this is how you would be acting.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yep. I think it's very common what they.
Yeah, so-
Oh yeah, I
Yeah,
just think it was funny.
Topanga-
I just think it was funny.
It was.
Topanga in this episode gets upset because Corey is kind of being buddy with the kid that she's babysitting,
Right.
and she's trying to be a really good role model and
Yeah.
try to tell him, hey, you need to be going to bed early and different things like that. And Corey's like, no, let's go play video games, let's go watch TV and all that stuff. So yeah, she got upset about that.
Yep.
But then yes, you also have the crazy girl that was singing outside of the store.
She's the lead singer in a band called Her. So I've never heard
I
of
had a
that.
question. I was like, she has to be a singer in real life,
Yeah.
because she was a really good singer.
She was. Her.
She was
is
way
the
too
name.
happy for Eric.
She's kind of crazy.
But-
And
But yeah, so she Taylor Swifts him.
yeah,
basically.
exactly. She comes
My
dark.
favorite when the little sister comes walking in while they're talking about it, singing all the songs.
Yeah, yeah. My favorite is
So-
Eric's speech when he's like, "I want to get as far away from you as possible."
Yes, she's a little hippie.
Yeah.
And she's singing outside the store.
Uh-huh.
The dad tells Eric to go take her out for a lunch.
Yeah.
So he takes her out, and she just starts singing like every single thing that is going on. She's
she's-
really
Yeah.
peppy.
Kind of crazy. She's talking like,
She's very crazy.
yeah.
And Eric breaks up with her in like a really bad way. But
Everything he said
Let's
is
be honest,
really
he
mean.
didn't do the right thing there.
No, he didn't.
Check? Check?
Is there something wrong?
No, nothing's wrong. I was just looking around, and I noticed all these people were watching you and listening to your song, and I was afraid they're gonna steal it. And I don't know, go sell it to Andrew Lloyd Webber, who'd then write a 3-hour musical about your dead goldfish.
Would he call it Goldie?
No, he'd call it Check. Check, he would call it.
You know, when I got up this morning, I had no idea that before the day was over, I'd meet someone I was going to spend the rest of my life with, and all our lives to come.
Okay, Karina, I don't know how to say this, so I'm gonna choose my words very carefully. I think you're a psycho. I want to get as far away from you as I possibly can.
What?
Well, I'm just not the guy for you. I mean, you need a guy who's happy and perky all the time, you know? Maybe a guy who's had part of his brain removed and he thinks he's a bunny. And you guys can go off and be bunnies together. Check! For the love of God, will someone please put me a check?
The end's my favorite when she gets on the radio with a nice song. The DJ cuts it off, goes, "Well, she's done."
Yep, that's right. Eric laughs. It's pretty great.
Next, janitor dad.
Good episode. Shaq gets his job as a janitor at Sean's school, and Sean gets really embarrassed about it.
this episode is probably the episode that I struggle with the most.
Uh-huh.
Of like, how would you feel? So, how would you feel if your dad was a janitor at our school when you were this age?
It'd be a tough age.
And I kept struggling with this because I know I'm not supposed to feel like that job is more of like a demeanor job.
Right.
But at the time,
Wait, a
like,
what?
I guess when you
Demeaning.
get older, like, you kind of feel like that.
Yeah.
What did I say?
Demeanor.
A
But
demeanor?
Demeanor. My
job.
bad. Yeah.
It's cool.
And I
Yeah,
don't know. I struggled
nowadays,
with this
I wouldn't
episode a lot
care.
because it just kind of stuck in my head. It was stuck in the back of my head while I was watching the rest of the season.
Yeah, nowadays you wouldn't really care, I feel like, but when you're that age, everything's embarrassing, and that would be embarrassing. And you have like the little punk kid who keeps making fun of him.
Have you ever had parents work at your school before?
I have not.
It's not fun.
I
can tell you
have.
that.
I
You
have.
Yeah, I'm a
So
master
when I was-
sub.
I know.
When I was in first, second, and third grade,
Mhm.
I went to a private school, and my dad was a teacher at the private school. He
Oh.
was the PE teacher, and he was the athletic director, and he was the coach. And Yeah, no, I worked there, but he was a PE teacher, so it was okay. Like
Yeah.
everyone thought he was like the coolest guy that worked there.
And Justin,
And,
your
like-
mom was a sub.
She was a sub, and I had her. Felt like every year I had her at least once. It was great.
Yeah, it's a really good episode, though. I mean, Sean finally puts aside his embarrassment, and just because his mom's so happy he finally has a job, and Chet's really happy he has a job. He's like, I finally actually did it. I actually got a job and a check. So it's pretty cool.
And the mom was really proud of him.
Yeah. I think my
proud
favorite
of the
scene in
dad
this
for getting a
movie,
job.
in this episode, is when Corey's putting down all the paper towels so he doesn't make a mess. And then Chet, he leaves it there, and Chet's like, "Who made this huge mess?" And Corey's like, "Oh, that backfired on me." Thought that was pretty good. The next episode, we skipped one, and then we went to Dangerous
Episode
Street,
8.
which is a
Yeah.
very serious episode about this is the
It's about sex. It's about sex.
Yeah, it is about sex. That part is interesting, but yeah, there's a girl staying at Sean's house, and Corey thinks that they're having sex, so he thinks he needs to have sex with Topanga, and he pretty much tries to.
Super
He does.
awkwardly.
He tries to put her in the mood.
tries to
the
put her
worst
in
way.
with-
The worst way ever.
I love when she goes, what do you think was going to happen here tonight, Corey? He says, nothing, and he has a bowl of grapes next to the bed. It's a total Corey thing to do.
Yeah.
Can I take your coat? I don't have a coat. Yeah. Why, yes, thank you. This whole thing?
Yeah. But you find
That's
out
pretty
that he's actually trying to help a girl whose dad is abusing her.
Yeah, that's a really intense episode.
It is.
Really intense episode. It gets intense because at very kind of towards the end of the episode, she comes
Completely beat up. Yeah.
Yeah, it's shown that she has a busted lip and a black eye.
Uh-huh.
And it's I guess it kind of touched me because I know that kids that have been through this before, and
Right.
it just sucks. It sucks to see that being on the outside looking in.
Yeah. And there's a really good part at the end when Alan's talking to Sean and like, what are you going to do about it? He's like, because wherever you send her, he's going to find her. And he said, I'm going to go to the cops. And they finally call the cops, and they send her to her aunt's house. And it's a good one.
I mean, it works out in the end, but it's just very
Sad.
intense.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What was
we watched
11 again?
11.
American
Sean and Corey aren't friends anymore because of a girl.
Oh, that's
That
right.
tall girl.
Yeah, who doesn't want them to be friends
So this is my favorite episode of the season.
this is when they start getting into the flirting of the gay relationship between Sean and Corey.
It's so freaking funny.
It's really solid. This is a good one.
So okay, it was going around the internet it's been going around the internet for a while now, and it's just kind of how best friends are supposed to act with each other or something
Yeah.
like that. And it's a famous phone call scene between Corey and Sean.
So
the
great.
girl doesn't like Corey, the girl that Sean's dating, because Corey thinks she's kind of stuck up and like kind
And
of.
she told Sean all this because she thought they broke up, and so he was like, "I had never liked her," and he like went on this huge rant about why he never liked her and stuff. And she then, when they got back together, she found out about this and got really mad at him, and she tried to tear him apart.
Yeah. It's something a girl would totally do.
Absolutely.
Not gonna lie. Like this is in the realm of reality.
Yes, it is.
But yeah, so
Especially in high school.
it was funny because you could put a clip of this in, but
Yeah.
Sean, you're supposed to call me Dawn. Why, is Jennifer there? Jennifer! No, she's at the mall. You know what? This is ridiculous. How can you let some girl tell you you can't see your best friend? It's just wrong. Do you hear me? Wrong. Sean, are you there?
Yeah, I was just listening to the sound of your voice and thinking about the old days.
I gotta see you.
No, we both know that's impossible.
Because of her? You're gonna let her stand in the way of what we had? Sean, if you won't see me, then I'll come right over there and see you.
No, don't come here.
I will not be ignored.
Okay, I'll see you. But just this once.
That's all I'm asking for.
The library, tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock.
The library it is. Then I'll step aside forever.
I want my own room.
I love that Sean made him a cupcake with a C on it, or cinnamon roll with a C on it.
Yeah. And then she comes in and thinks that it's for her, and he goes, "What's this?" She goes, "What's the C for?" He goes, "It's for you."
Yeah, exactly.
Is that for me?
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Is that there in the library
a-
where they're talking to each other?
Yeah,
through
that's
books?
in the library scene where
Yeah.
he's trying to talk to Corey through a bookshelf.
yeah, this is a really solid episode, and
But
it's really good.
I was just thinking that they're talking to each other on the phone again, and it's like one of those interactions where it's almost like a gay type of scene.
Yeah, yeah.
And he goes, "Yeah, she's super suspicious now. I can't make it to dinner because she found all my cinnamon roll receipts."
Corey, she found the cinnamon roll receipts. Hey, I'll put that whole full conversation in it because it's a really solid one. And at the end, Topanga sets them up where they find out about, or they say that she walks in on them two hanging out, and he has to make a decision if they're going to. I think one of my favorite lines from this one is when they're at Chubby's and she says, "You know what?" and she like grabs Sean and makes out with him. And then he's like, "Corey, I need to talk to you for a second." He's like, "Maybe this is good news." And he gets up and walks over there. Anyways, good episode. Yeah, that's a very famous meme, is the phone call scene from this.
Yeah.
Next episode is the Easy Street, where Corey and Sean work for the mob.
Which is a really weird episode.
It's great.
I just included this in here because it was such a weird episode. I would recommend anybody who likes these old 90s shows. There is a YouTube thing from Funny or Die, I think it's from Funny or Die, called A Very Special Episode, where this guy recaps these episodes like this, and he does the cult one later, and they're very funny recaps. I'll send it to you guys, but I would look them up. They're called A Very Special Episode, and they're pretty funny. But anyways, this is one. The mob, they have Christmas jobs, and Sean wants to get a job to pay for presents for his or for his Christmas, and Corey gets a job with the mob, but he doesn't realize it until Sean tells him, and then Sean takes the job and does stuff. It's just a weird episode. I just thought it was funny.
I mean, it fits Sean's character.
It does, and yeah, they're intense. And at the end, you don't know if he has a box. He might be a severed head or something in it. It's pretty intense.
Probably my least favorite, but still a good episode.
Yeah,
it's probably my least favorite out of all the episodes, just because, in my opinion, it seemed unbelievable.
Yeah,
to
we're
happen.
about to get to some good ones here.
We are. I'm pretty excited. The next
some pretty
one
famous ones. They're in every single Boy Meets World YouTube compilation ever known to man.
Yeah. Next one's Wheels, when Corey turned 16, and great episode.
This is the episode where I didn't really like Corey.
Yeah, he's kind of a brat in this one, isn't he?
He is a brat.
We're at that age where we're starting
acting
to see more of the dad's side than the kid's side.
Yeah, I mean, I felt super old watching this episode.
Exactly.
Because I was just like, I probably acted like a little shit when I was little, too.
Yeah, when I was 16.
And acting like a brat. But
it's important for them to show that side of Corey, because sometimes Corey, he's a little too all shucks.
Yeah.
And you don't get to see that teenager side of him. Because even though we were all good kids, we all definitely had those moments.
Absolutely.
Oh, I had this moment plenty of times with my parents.
Oh,
thinking
yeah.
I was just like, oh, God, I freaking hate you.
They remind us.
I
They
wanna
remind
do
us
stuff with you. I want to
constantly.
do stuff with my friends.
Yeah, exactly.
And honestly, I mean,
But
the dad doesn't handle it perfectly. I mean, he could have done things better too. But yeah, he's definitely more in the right than Corey was with this, I think. So, because his dad wants to like do stuff with him on his 16th, and Corey wants to do stuff with his friends.
And he got upset that he couldn't do that kind of stuff with them. So
Yep. They got the judge at the end. Fun fact about the judge. His name is he has a girly name, Dana, I think it's his name. But
I've seen him in other stuff.
He is the dad in Wonder Years, which was the show that had Fred Savage in it, Ben Savage's brother. And it's a show that's the reason that this show even happened. So to have him as like the mediator between the dad and him was kind of on purpose, and good stuff.
That's cool.
Yeah.
He was a really weird character with the balloons.
I don't
and
understand what the point of all
but-
that was. Some of the stuff was kind of wacky and weird. I didn't really enjoy.
But I did like the very end where he sentenced Corey to having
2 years.
2 more years of being a kid.
Yeah.
And then he sentenced the dad to have
2 years.
2 more years of cherishing those moments.
He's like, it's a
We didn't really say Corey got he got ticketed for going a mile over the speed limit.
Yeah.
And he was being a little shit again, and he was like, "Hey, you should call your dad to come give you $200 for this fine." And he's like, "No, I'm not gonna call my dad. Like, I'll go to court." Yeah. And he went to court with the judge.
I love how their justification was, it's a speed trap. Like, obviously, we're gonna beat you for going a mile
I
over.
thought that was stupid.
Next episode is the Chick Like Me, which is another iconic one, where Sean is treating girls badly, and so to do a journalism thing, he decides to pretty much cross-dress and try to get this, and this guy treats him like a jerk, and very interesting episode. I love Corey as the server. Hi, honey. But when he first comes out and he like looks like a girl, Corey, and he looks terrible. They're like, oh gosh. It's a really good episode.
I feel like this is almost like we're starting to get into peak Corey here.
Yeah, yeah.
Because he's really kind of growing into how just nerdy and ridiculous he is. Because he didn't really embrace it when he was a kid, and I think he's starting to just embrace like who he actually is.
Yeah, this is when he starts getting more nerdy, and
it's amazing.
What do you think of this episode, John?
It was cringing.
Were you attracted to Girl Sean at all, or is that just me, or just me? Okay, I'll stop.
I'll say I stayed very soft throughout that whole time.
Let's say I didn't know he was a girl for a while. I didn't know that was Sean, and
oh my gosh,
I have some regrets. I'll just say that.
Okay. Next episode, we'll skip right past that. This is another iconic one. We'll do both of these together. This is The Long Walk from Pittsburgh. The episode when Topanga's parents are leaving, and she moves away, and then she comes back and decides to live with her aunt. I really like the first scene of this one when Eric pretty much was about to beat up Sean because he thinks that something's going on. He pins him against the wall. It's just a good brother moment for him.
Yeah.
What'd you think, John? You hadn't seen this. You think she was going to stay away? How long do you think she was going to be gone for?
I don't really know.
Yeah.
I don't really know. It's this. I honestly felt like these episodes, I guess they were kind of, I don't know. They were kind of out of place when it came to the rest of the season, I felt like.
Did you not like this one?
I mean, I did, but I don't know. I felt like the last 4 that we watched were kind of intense episodes, I guess, other than 20.
Right.
20 wasn't really. 20 was just kind of like it almost felt like a throwaway episode. I know it was needed when it came to. We
set it up for the. Yeah.
When it came to emotions, it was very strong.
And the only reason we watched it is because of the SAT stuff, which would take place in the next episode.
Yes, but yeah. I felt like 20 was really strong when it came to just emotions, and the other ones were, I don't know. I guess they were just, to me, they were kind of intense.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. I mean, this is just an iconic one. Her coming back to the kitchen in the rain is a pretty famous scene.
Every single YouTube compilation.
Yeah. Did you like this one, Justin?
This is. There's one thing I wish they did. Is I wish she didn't come back so quick.
Yeah, I mean,
I think it would have done a lot of good.
So you kind of assume that she was. Yeah.
I think they should have kept her away for maybe the last few episodes, and then brought her back at the end of the season.
Yeah, I do like the Sean's justification for this is TV. Trust me, it's the same as TV. And then when she actually leaves, like, what kind of show is this? Kind of a couple fun facts. Okay, Sean or Justin, you weren't in the normal classes like me and John were in high school. But John, you remember when we watched Romeo and Juliet? And
hold on, all right, hold on. We need to roll back.
Yeah.
Okay. Don't you act like I'm in some special class?
You're in the AP.
Okay.
You're in the smart
I was not in a
classes.
special class. I was in I took advanced.
Sorry.
Because some people could take that the wrong way.
Okay, I'm
oh,
sorry.
Justin wasn't in the normal
hold on.
classes.
So he's saying that he didn't take a special class, but he's in the advanced class.
He thought we were saying that he was like in a slow class or something.
you could get it mixed up.
He was in an advanced class, and me and John were not. Maybe this happened in advanced class. I just remember it happening for us regular folk. We read Romeo and Juliet, and then we had to watch Romeo and Juliet, and we had to get waivers signed because she's topless in one of the scenes. And I remember our parents had to sign something. Do you remember this, John? Did your class do this?
I don't remember that.
Maybe
at
it's just
all.
my class. Did you have to do that, John?
I think we were more mature than you all.
Maybe. Anyways, so we had to get it signed. They mentioned Romeo and Juliet in this episode a lot. The aunt at the end played Juliet in this movie, and this movie was really like in the Romeo and Juliet movie, and this movie was really iconic because she was only they casted her and the guy, and they were actually 15 years old, or however old Romeo and Juliet were supposed to be. So there's a lot of controversy about it because she was actually topless in it, and she was only 15
she was topless. She was only 15.
However old Romeo and Juliet are in the book, but yeah,
well, that is really awkward.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's really. I didn't think they could do that.
It was a very controversial thing that happened, but it did, and that's who plays her aunt at the end. That's why they keep talking about. I know something about True Love, and there's all these little shout outs because it was a big deal when that movie came out.
Are we on like a list or something? Or?
Because we've all seen it, yeah.
Hello, FBI. How's it going?
I should probably check. I think I read that before I say it.
That's
I'm pretty sure that's true.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, that's weird.
Yep. Sorry.
So this
Thank you for ruining my day.
Came out in '68.
Okay.
I guess different times.
Different times.
Yeah, different times. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So next episode is Eric gets fired.
Yes. And he becomes a security guard. Which, you know,
This episode is very important when it comes to Eric and kind of his relationship when it comes to his parents.
yes. Yeah, this is a good one. They've kind of realized that they've kind of been
Babying him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And specifically Alan. And this is a good Alan scene. I feel like this is kind of where they start showing some of Alan's flaws, specifically when Feeney tries to tell him, yeah, you guys kind of did coddle him, and he was like, well, thank you. He gets kind of mad about it. He kind of gets angry. There's some anger in Alan that they show. But
these next two episodes, you kind of see the anger when it comes to
I love
Alan,
the next
so.
one. The next one's great. But so he becomes a security guard instead, and at all this time, Corey and Topanga are trying to convince Sean to do the SATs, and they tell him there's going to be cake, and they give really easy answers, and Phoebe plays along.
So,
and it's so
what
funny. Good.
would make mud? Water, dirt. Or, no. What
which one of
wouldn't
these would
make
not?
which one? Yeah, which one of these would not make mud?
Yeah.
Water, dirt, or turkey?
He's like, it's that easy, and then Feeney's like, let me see that.
He's like, which one of these is sweet?
Yeah.
Sugar or salt?
Yeah.
Sugar.
Yeah. And Feeney gets upset. And then Feeney realizes what they're doing, and he goes, well, we told everybody about the cake. and then they convince him to go.
Yeah, they're trying to get Sean to take the class, and they're just trying to
SAT
get him
prep.
to think that it's a really easy class to take when it comes to the SATs.
Yeah, and and it's just a really funny episode. And then at the end, when he's a security guard, he looks in the window, and Sean's eating cake. Everybody's eating SAT.
He starts to smile and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he starts
So
eating
then
SAT. Good.
Yeah, so Sean, I was going to say Sean, Corey, Topanga, and Eric, they all take the SATs. And the very end of the episode is one of my favorite, I guess, scenes that they have with Mr. Feeney up until this point in the series, because they kind of go up to him and they just say,
In heaven's name.
Mr. Feeney, we got a few issues to discuss with you.
Yeah. We just came from taking our SATs.
Yeah.
How did you do?
Yeah.
That's why we're here, sir. I mean, for more years than I care to remember, you have drove us nuts by filling our heads with dates and ideas and numbers and concepts.
Yeah, and with the last 3 weeks of that course of yours, drilling us, pushing us to the edge.
Yeah, and making me eat cake. 5 pounds right here, baby.
And now that it's all over and we've taken the test, we had to come here and tell you to your face.
Thanks a lot, man.
We finally understood why you pushed us so hard.
We're really glad you did.
And then the next scene's really good too when he brings the SAT scores to his dad.
Yeah,
and
Eric
his dad-
Eric brings it to Alan, his dad.
You tried as hard as you could?
Yeah, I did.
Well, then it's a good thing you're not working for your father anymore. I'd have to fire you.
What?
1120. That's 200 points higher than last time, Eric.
I'm very proud of you. I'm very, very proud of you. I knew you could do it.
I knew I could do it too.
And the next episode is also one of the most iconic because of how ridiculous it is. But Sean joins a cult.
In my opinion, it's a top 5 episode, though.
It's a good episode. It's a
Top
good
5 episode of the whole entire series?
For me, yes.
Wow.
Mostly just for the end.
The end's
I mean,
great.
the end's crazy. Yeah, so Sean meets a girl, and she seems really creepy at first in class. And
She's really creepy anyways.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but you don't really understand like why she's super creepy. But what happens at the very beginning of the episode? I forgot. Something happens in class. I forgot what happens.
He doesn't do something, and then Turner's like, "Sean, there's only a few people that care about you. Don't push me away because I'm one of them, or something like that."
Yeah.
And she walks in, and she's like, "Why would you say no? Only a few people care about you. So many people care about me." And then no red
That's
flags.
what it was. That's what it was.
Yeah. And then
she's there's something off about her. She's
Yeah.
really weird.
so they go to the center, which is where she's at, and she really there's a lot of hugs and a lot of cute girls.
Lots of hugs. Really weird.
And then he realizes that it's a cult, and then he meets what's his name? Dang, what was the cult guy's name? I forget. Anyways,
Starts with the M.
Mr. Mac.
Mr. Mac. That's what it is.
It's Mac. Yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Mac. And
So-
good.
Well, I was just gonna say. So he meets Mr. Mac, and Mac just kind of tells him that this is for people that are lost,
Yeah.
and we just kind of bring you guys in, and we're a family and everything like that, and tries to give lost people a purpose.
Yeah.
Here, try the punch.
Basically.
So then, so Sean gets invited into this cult.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
And,
Jesus, by the way.
And
Yes, basically.
it was kind of weird because he was like, "Oh, so you're a cult," and then he's like, "Ha ha ha ha,"
Yeah.
and everyone starts laughing, "Ha ha ha," and then he gets
Yeah.
real serious.
Yeah,
But yes, we
are. Yes, we are. But yeah, it's a good episode. And then Mr. Feeney wants to take him down too because he heard about this cult stuff. Sean becomes a life member after like one day, and kind of weird. Sean's pretty lost. And then
He also has a Turner moment with in the middle of the episode.
That's true. That's true. And and then you realize that they get a call that Turner was in a car or motorcycle accident, and they have to go. And Sean doesn't think he can handle it. And all this time, they're like starting to ask Sean like, "What do you believe in?" Which is kind of weird that Corey, as his best friend, has never had a conversation about what he believes in. But whatever. It's fine.
You almost get the sense when it comes to the whole entire series that Sean is like this lost puppy, and they hint at it so many times within this episode. But you realize in this last episode of the season that he really is like really lost. Like he doesn't really have a purpose in life. Yeah. And you didn't really know that about Sean. You always felt like, well, Sean's purpose is kind of
his friends, and
he has his friends, he has his family that he has now, but it's
So
you just get this sense that he's very, very, very like almost like he's broken.
Yeah.
Like
Around this time, and you'll notice it more as the seasons go on, but Ryder Strong, the guy who played Sean, he didn't want to do the show anymore. He was ready to be out. He said he wanted to do more drama, more theater, and they told like, well, you're obviously like a pin in this show. He's and we want you to stay in it, so we'll give you more drama-filled episodes. So most episodes that include like some sad stuff usually involves around Sean, And yeah, he did a great job. That scene where he's in there talking to Turner and like crying and stuff is a very good scene, like pleading to God to make him okay.
To save. Yeah. Before that, so Sean, he invites Mike to
Mr.
the
Mack.
hospital, or Mr. Mack, sorry. He invites Mr. Mack to the hospital because he feels like that he can't handle Turner.
Yeah.
He can't handle it by himself.
Which
So
just
he
makes
invites-
it so that he's
he-
so much weaker than, because of the cult, he's weak.
Yes.
You know.
So
invites Mac.
he invites the cult leader.
Yeah.
And you find out Feeney was trying to shut down the cult. Later,
Their nemesis.
yeah,
Yeah.
I guess earlier, like in the I don't know, I guess the season,
Yeah.
but so then you have this guy, and he gets kind of in Alan's face a little bit.
You're not dealing with gullible little kids here now, buddy. Now, you brought Sean down. Thanks. Now, why don't you just take a hike back to Conland?
Now, do you see how judgmental these
No,
people
no,
are?
listen. You see. A judgment I made a long time ago is that Sean Hunter is the best friend that my kid ever had. And I will kill to protect Sean Hunter from people like you.
Alan, he would love a lawsuit.
I think there's a lot of anger here.
It ends with Turner giving him a little squeeze that he's going to be okay. Sean says he's not going to be in the cult anymore, and we never see Mr. Turner again. This
Nope.
is
He's
the last
gone.
time you'll see him. Really weird that they never...
Until I think Girl Meets World. I think he comes back.
He comes back to
Meets
Girl
World.
Meets World. He plays the superintendent of the school that Corey works at.
So I
Really sad.
definitely got goosebumps at the end of this.
Justice for
episode.
Mr.
It was
Turner.
very, very emotional, very, very intense.
It is very intense episode.
Great
All right.
episode.
This is a long episode. So let's go to your final thoughts. You all ready?
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool. Justin, you go first.
All right. It's already a point, obviously.
Right.
So take your damn point.
Okay.
This is where
This is Chris's first points of the season.
It is. I haven't done too well yet.
So this is my kind of evaluation of season 4. It's always been for me. It seems like it's almost a bridge in a way.
Okay.
You start to see Corey become who he is in the later seasons, which I think for most people they've only seen 5 through 7.
Right.
That's where it's from 4 to 7 where most people have seen.
Yeah.
And it's definitely the more iconic.
Yeah.
But if you watch 1 through 3 and then 4, you kind of see him. It makes sense how he grows.
Yep.
You know, because his progression is really good. Topanga's is a little bit more everywhere. They definitely retcon Topanga a little bit. They
do.
fix it later on.
Yeah.
You know, she's not as perfect anymore with
Right.
everything. She has that weird stuff kind of, but she's probably my least favorite character this season. And then this is Alan's season, in my opinion.
It's great. It's a really strong one.
I agree.
He becomes one of my favorite characters in that season, just because you see him struggle.
Yeah.
With a lot of stuff, and how emotional he gets when it comes to his kids, his job, his family, things like that.
What about you, John? What'd you think?
This season was really good. Alan is my favorite character within the whole entire series. I think I've said this before.
Yeah.
And he's still my favorite character. I like how they kind of made him a little bit more human in this season, because last season I feel like he did make some mistakes, and I like that about it too. But a lot of shows, they kind of show dads as either really, really screwed up or really, really perfect. You don't really see like a human form of a dad.
Yeah, both
and
sides.
this kind of shows both. It kind of shows him making like a really, really good decision, and you saying like, yeah, that's a really good thing, really. And then you have him making really bad decisions, and I like both of them. So, yeah, you definitely get a point from me.
It all goes back to them portraying a healthy family.
Yep.
And you know, one of my issues, and I'm off of that, but one of the things I forgot to bring up was I think this is the last season we see normal Eric.
Yeah, season 5 starts out normal, but it quickly deteriorates.
We didn't.
So I know we're getting a little bit too much into it, but This is one of my favorite Eric seasons as well, because he still has that. He's still normal.
Right.
I like Eric when he's funny. Don't
Right.
get me wrong, but it does make me miss when he was this way.
Yeah.
Because he definitely becomes a punchline.
He becomes
closer
Jim
to the end of
Carrey,
the-
basically. Yeah.
But yeah, season
okay.
5, I'm excited.
I really enjoyed it. I had a really good time watching this. We definitely watched season 5. Season 5 is my favorite, so I'm really excited to come back to it. I already went through the episodes, and we're pretty much watching all of them. Just so y'all know, forewarning. There's not many episodes we can cut in season 5.
Okay.
So very excited about it. All right, Justin, what are we watching next week, bud?
All right, so next week, I can't believe we haven't done a movie by him before. I looked. I'm pretty sure we haven't. But next week, I'm going to start a look at Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
And not his first movie.
Yeah.
But his biggest financially at the beginning, The Mask.
I would say definitely probably one of his most one-liners came out of this movie.
Yes.
It's a strong one. Yeah.
Yeah, this was his. So there's a lot of interesting things about this movie because this came out after Ace Ventura. But it was filmed. It was filmed before Ace Ventura.
Interesting.
It's very interesting. I don't know how you're going to react to it because it's very, very peak Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
But it's also very different than what you might think Jim Carrey is. There's a dichotomy to him.
If I remember a lot of it, it's gonna be interesting.
Very interesting to talk about it.
There's a dichotomy to him in this movie that you don't see in a lot of his more famous movies. I think.
Cool.
Besides his more dramatic ones.
Cool.
Okay.
Well, John, let's wrap us up. That way we can.
Yep.
Party.
I heard Justin do the closing for the last
right.
podcast. Justin, you want to try it again? Do you want to do it again?
Nope.
Okay. All right, so you can find us at Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Another Man's Pod. You can also find us on Twitch at Another Man's at Another Man's Nostalgia Podcast.
Yep.
You can go give us a follow. Please go give us 5 stars. We put out dank memes and clips of our shows when it comes to all social medias. You might get some polling and just different things like that. A lot of 90s, a lot of 2000s nostalgia stuff is on there, so go check us out. What episode should we watch, or what episode should we go back and watch this?
Oh boy, man, I would say Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, maybe something like that. This is kind of based on a comic, so maybe go to one of those other things that might be surprising to learn it's based on a comic. They're actually very similar, these two, very violent comics. So,
thanks for giving away one of my fun facts.
I already knew it. Anyways, violent comics, what it's based on. So go to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, there you go. Teenage Mutant Ninja
One of our
Turtles.
first ones we've ever
I don't know what
did.
episode that is, but
We're heroes. We're turtles. Remember?
It's gotta be like 3 or 4. It's gotta be 4 or 5 in.
Turtles, remember?
It's episode. I think it's episode 11. Let me look. It's season 1.
It's pretty early
11.
in.
Season 1, episode 11.
There you go. Season 1, episode 11.
One of the
Go
worst
check-
things
go
John's
check that
ever
out.
picked.
All right.
Okay. So yeah. Anyway, go check us out there. You can also email us at anothermanspod@gmail.com if you have anything to say to us. We have a bunch of comments on Apple Podcasts, so please go give us stars, go give us a review. We'd really appreciate it.
Yep.
Chris, where can you find us?
You can listen to us at Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Podbean, Stitcher, anywhere you want to go listen to us. You can probably find us there.
Headphone cast.
If we're not at one of the places where you want to, let me know and I'll stick us on there.
Sound banana.
Yeah. That's a weird one.
All right, so last thing, please go give to our Patreon.
Yep.
You will get extra content, just like we said, the Zoolander commentary. It was pretty fun filming that, so I hope you guys enjoy it.
Thank you guys for listening. We'll see you next week with The Mask.
Peace.